Recently, the 2020 election has passed, leaving a wake of one of the most stolen elections in United States history. Currently, the election results are still being contested as Donald Trump continues to refuse to concede, surprising even me as I thought he would have quit by now. This has redeemed some of my confidence in Trump as a true leader does not quit, especially when he knows his opponent has used foul play. Half the nation knows the election was stolen. The other half of the nation also knows the election was stolen. They just don't care because it is their guy who benefits from it. Meanwhile, the media and big tech have worked full-time to control the narrative, ensure damage control, and keep any opposing information from being allowed to be seen by the public. Trump spends hours on end tweeting about the corruption, the cheating, and the censorship, only to be censored and silenced by Twitter and the media, while the fingers are pointing to the owners of big tech and the mainstream media. At some point, the blame of the censorship must be laid at Trump's feet. Had he done his job during his 4 years, he would have issued an executive order forcing the corporations to abide by the First Amendment, or he would have demanded the prosecution of these offending sites for their violations. Instead, the only thing he did was hold a pathetic social media summit, which was little more than a publicity stunt. He did nothing, and now it has come back to bite him. He ran on a platform that he was going to prosecute Clinton, Obama, and Biden for their crimes. But once he was sworn in, he chose to pretend it never happened. Had he done what he said he was going to do, Biden would not have been able to even run against him. Instead, his lack of actions over the last 4 years have, again, come back to bite him. In fact, the only time Trump has ever taken action has been when he was personally affected. He never acknowledged his supporters, who sat locked in prisons for defending themselves, the countless supporters lying in hospital beds for being attacked, and endless voices silenced. It wasn't until he was silenced did he start speaking out. And then, we have the endless pandering to non-whites for their votes. He gained votes by all non-whites, but it was a pittance compared to his loss of white votes. He was elected by appealing to white Americans, by implying that he was going to fight for us, but after his inauguration, he completely forgot about us. After his first year, mentioning the term white Americans became completely off limits. The masses who marched in the streets in support, who rallied endlessly, and who endured violent attacks, all in support of the hope they had in this man, meant nothing to him. Had he addressed us, had he continued to reach out to us, had he even spent a fourth of his time that he spent pandering to blacks to pander to us instead, had he given us half of that $500 billion to white Americans, he would have received so many votes that even Biden's fraudulent actions would have not prevailed. So for now, all we can do is pray Trump's narcissism keeps him fighting, keeps him from conceding, and this illegitimate farce called an election gets taken to a contingency election, because win or lose, Trump is the last Republican president to ever occupy the White House. Ponder these words. Be sure to share my videos and subscribe to all my social media accounts. You will find the links in the description. If you wish to support me, you will also find a Bitcoin address there as well. And as always, watch from the shadows and see the truth.